Ladies and gentlemen, it is showtime! Hello, everybody. I am your host and Notorious sports critic, and welcome back to an all-new Downright Sports. We are back loud and excited. I'm not going to lie. I'm excited, but it took a lot to get to this level of excitement because I was worn out. I was tired. The snow's got me. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's the snow. If you've never heard Downright Sports before, it is a sports show by a sports fan talking to all the sports fans out there, and we got a lot to talk about. Download old episodes or most recent episodes, that's better, I should say. Download most recent episodes on Spotify, and the show is officially back on DJ Chase Radio and the DJ Chase Radio app. We are back after a month and a half, 2 months away. Yeah. Yeah. If you do yeah and you nod your head a certain way, you just feel like Macho Man. Ooh, yeah. You gotta, brother. Ooh, yeah. Downright Sports. Ooh. Get back in effect. Ooh, yeah. I'm not going to stop. I need to stop. We're going to stop right now. Any case, appreciate you tuning in. It is a show that's a little out there. It's a little wacky. Unlike most podcasts you are accustomed to, unlike most podcasts that are affiliated or identified, if you will, as a corporate podcast, this is not one of them. This is a podcast for sports fans. So if you're a real fan, a true fan, you want to listen to me because I talk the way a fan would talk, without a doubt. A show that's been going on now 10 years strong. October will make 11 years of Downright Sports. That's something, isn't it? Golden Globes, when you're thinking of Amy Poehler's show where she gets to hang out with her industry friends. How hard is that? Come listen to a show that has been pumping strong like an old man's heart rate for the last almost 11 years for fans. That's right. Damn it. We're having a lot of fun, aren't we? All right, so as Cody Rhodes would say, what do you want to talk about? And I think I have the idea. How about this Sunday, live on NBC, the Super Bowl is back. Super Bowl 60. There have been 60 Super Bowls. Or there have been 59 Super Bowls. It's actually accurate. It's been 59 Super Bowls before this one coming up on Sunday, and the matchups are set. We will see. We will witness the New England Patriots taking on the Seattle Seahawks. A rematch, if you will. And as my wife even brought up, and I didn't look it up. If you find it, just let me know later. But it's not a true rematch because the original stars of the original Super Bowl where these teams matched up just now almost a while ago. Hold on, I have the date. I actually wrote notes down. I don't know why I'm not looking at it. Let's look at them. I'm either find the notes or I'm going to find what I had researched. Whatever comes first, that is baseball research. That's why you want this show. You know, if you want a real unscripted sloppy show, this is the one, not the ones that are actually scripted to act and pretend. Anyway, I have a lot of them. All right, these teams faced off. Are you ready for this? 11 years ago. How about that? So this rematch is tied to Downright Sports. How about that? Almost 11 years ago. So 10 years ago, these two franchises faced off in a Super Bowl that was riddled with questions when it was all said and done. We're not going to go back there because this doesn't even have the same cast of characters. This is what you would define as, what camera should I use? A reboot. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah. Like your favorite movie you didn't want rebooted. It's a reboot. So now, New England and Seattle are facing off this time around in Super Bowl 60. And this time, there are new names. we're not going to break down who should win, and well, we are going to break down who should win. I'm not going to give you. We're going to do it as I wrote in my script, a fast break way. Let's go. Seattle and New England are two teams that you should be very excited to see because the franchises we recognize, but these names we don't. That's why this Super Bowl is either going to be the transition Super Bowl or as I called it, the placeholder Super Bowl, because will we see Drake May or the journeyman Sam Darnold take over the NFL and make it their own? Is this the beginning of something new for two franchises with two new head coaches? With I think Seattle's coach was there last year, but two quarterbacks with as answering all the questions, or is this just an opportunity for everybody to take a quick reset and then next year, Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow return, and then maybe even Lamar Jackson, they all return to reclaim what they feel is theirs, their league. All right, now Bo Nix is sitting at home saying, I was in the competition. I was in the conversation. You were, and then you got hurt. Now you're not. So go away. This game is kind of crazy. So I did some weird note-taking, okay? This is the 60th Super Bowl. So in that case, I don't know how to say it, but if you think of it in the sense of Super Bowl 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and 60, historically, these landmark Super Bowls tend to be a little lopsided, except for one. That was Super Bowl 10, where the Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Dallas Cowboys 21-17. After that, these landmark Super Bowls are, blowouts. Super Bowl 20, 46-10, Chicago blew out New England. Super Bowl 30, Dallas blew out Pittsburgh 27-17. Hold on, because my microphone, me and this new mic stand have not been getting along, so I'm trying to. It's been a show, we're just gonna do it here. I try to do it the other way because it looks better, but we're just gonna do it here because it sounds better. All right? How you doing, Stan? I call the mic stand Stan. Get it? Anyway, Super Bowl 40, Pittsburgh versus, dare I say, Seattle, was a blowout 21-10. And then Super Bowl 50, Denver blew out Carolina. That's the Cam Newton fumble game, 24-10. We're hoping that's not the same here. This is a Super Bowl for a first time in a long time. You're getting two stout defenses. Two defenses that are coming to beat butt. All right? But here's the difference. Is New England for real? Is Seattle for real? Or is this the game New England gets exposed because New England had the easiest road to the Super Bowl? Minus when they got to the playoffs, they had to play in the wild card game while Seattle got a bye. So Seattle's played in 2 games so far, while New England is now going into its 3rd game. But if we look at these games for New England, they have been challenging the whole step of the way. New England with a stout defense, a very good defense. Their offense has not been explosive. And if you go back and say, what about the Texas game? If you go back and look at the stats, or you look at if you look at the game from a paper standpoint, it would look like New England was in control of that game the whole time. Defensively, they were, but the Texas defense was giving New England fits. And if the Texans had a better quarterback, or a quarterback that didn't get the jitters, they'd be the Texans right now, not New England, playing in the Super Bowl. But they're here, and we're going to go based on what we have seen. Denver, without their starting quarterback, was giving New England fits early on in that game. For a long time, they were not able to find their footing. Denver had a was very much into that game for a while, and things started to change later. The final score was 10-7. They couldn't even score, which brings me to Seattle, whose defense has proven they are not for play. They are here to collect checks and to break necks. All right, when you look at what Seattle has done in this postseason, yes, they've played fewer games, but in those fewer games that they have played, they have made a statement. Okay, now against the Rams, that this year has seemed to been a very that's the rival wink nod game because those two teams have seen each other. That was the third time they saw each other. And even still, the Rams made it a game. Seattle, in my opinion, was handling that game very well. But the 49ers game is the story where they took a 49ers team that's banged up, respect, a little banged up. But at the same time, this was a team that was in the race with the Rams and the Seahawks all year. And a team that, we're touted with an offensive genius. Well, they put up 41 and only allowed 6 points. Okay? They shut them down. This entire year, the Seattle defense has been world class. All right? Just to give you some figures, when they faced the 49ers early in the year, 13 points. Pittsburgh, 17 points. Saints were no good. Arizona was no good. Tampa Bay, 35 points on Tampa. They lost to Tampa, all right? Jacksonville, pretty good offense this year, 12 points. Houston, we already talked about that, 19 points. Washington didn't have their quarterback. Tennessee, young team, they zipped Minnesota. Zipped, no points, goose egg, okay? Indiana, they didn't have their quarterback, 16 points. That was a close game, actually. And Carolina was a better team, but only 10 points. And then the 49ers, again, 3 points. They don't let you really score. A couple teams have had some anomalies, but if you're New England and you had trouble scoring against Denver and you had trouble basically finding your footing against the Texans, I'm here to tell you right now, the Seahawks are going to eat New England's lunch. Now, I hope the 2 weeks they've put something together, they formulated a game plan, but I don't see it. I understand this Saturday we're going to find out Drake May is probably the MVP. I think it should go to someone else, perhaps a running back. I think there were better running backs this year. Hell, it should probably go to Myles Garrett, who had a historical season, but I digress. This is about one thing, the Super Bowl, all right? Told you, fast break. Drake May had a great year against a very manageable schedule. I think this is the game where we find out where he either turns into Tom Jr. or he turns into Rex Grossman, whose name I could not remember like 2 weeks ago. All right? You can have a pretty good year and, make a little, but I don't see it, Drake. I don't. I don't trust the singer and I don't trust this quarterback. That's why this Sunday, I'm calling it here with all certainty. The Seattle Seahawks will be winning their second ever Super Bowl in 4 appearances that they have gone, and they will win it. They will win this game. It will be close early. They will fill themselves out. Second half, it's going to be a wash, and it will be unwatchable. And I'm pretty sure I know I'm doing a post game, and it's the reason why I'm not calling the game because I don't see it being a very memorable game. These are two teams with good defenses, but Seattle's defense is next level. And as long as Sam Darnold, who has not thrown an interception all postseason, continues on that trajectory and he allows, because realistically, like Seattle teams successful in the past, what does Seattle have? A good running back, if not a great running back, and Walker III with over 1,000 yards rushing. And you still have Cooper Kupp, who was a Super Bowl MVP. You have Smith Najee. I think I said it right. A reliable wide receiver, and then defensively, and DeMarcus Lawrence and Emmett Jones. This is going to be a bad day at the office, as they would say for New England. Give me Seattle. Give me Seattle. We're going Seattle by 12. It's an ugly number. We're going Seattle by 12. Book it. All right. Book it. All right. Did I say we're going Seattle? Yeah. We going Seattle. All right. So, got to take up some time. You know what I mean? Got to take up some time. The Super Bowl has been around for over 60 years. And it got me to thinking, historically all time, what are some great games? What are some great players? Well, I can recall some things, and the older I get, I don't recall as much as I used to, or the moments, and it has to stand out to me. But there's some Super Bowl games. I've been watching the Super Bowl actively probably since 1990, probably since 1998. Yeah, 'cause I want to say the first Super Bowl I remember watching was Denver and Green. No, I'm lying. First Super Bowl I remember watching was the Cowboys taking on the Bills. And my mom was like, we root for New York teams, and the Bills got spanked by the Cowboys. But when I decided to seek it out on my own, was definitely Denver, Green Bay in '99. I don't. I remember the Denver Atlanta. I missed the Rams Tennessee game because I don't think I can't remember why. I don't know if I went to bed early or we had we had an outage or something, but I didn't get to see the game. And I remember going to school the next day, and I was like, "Yo, did you see that ending?" And I'm like, "What ending?" But that's the Tennessee game where basically Tennessee loses by an inch. Like if he can get the ball into the end zone, it's a touchdown. But I do remember. I don't remember the Giants and Ravens game. I just remember the Giants getting whooped and my dad and my Uncle Sean being mad. Now, Tampa Raiders, I remember my Uncle Timmy and my best friend Tim, Uncle Buddha, made a lot of beats for this show. Big Raider fans. And I remember getting ready to get on the bus before the week of the Super Bowl and just a little old Notorious sports critic back then, just a critic, not Notorious yet. And I remember saying to Tim, I said, yo, this is your year. You guys are going to win. You got the best offense. And that's when I learned the game. When Tim looked at me and said, nope, Tampa's defense is too good. And I said, what? But you guys got Rich Gannon. You got Jerry Rice. You got Tim, was it Tim Woodson? No, it's Timmy. Tim Wright? No. Tim Brown. Yeah, Tim Brown. You got this explosive offense. And Tim goes, yeah, that's great. But Tampa's defense is next level. And Timmy was right because Tampa put up 48 and only Raiders were only able to score 21. And that 48 was practically just the defense. I definitely remember New England and the Rams. That's the first 9/11 game. I remember so many of these games, but I had to decide which was going to be the games that stood out to me. So here's the Notorious Sports Critics. I don't even know if I'm recording this. I stopped. I'm hoping I am. Here's the Notorious Sports Critics top NFL games. All right. I don't have it ranked anyway, but let's just go. All right. I remember 2007 Colts versus the Bears. Now, the game was pretty cool, but it was pretty much Prince's halftime show, which is wild to look. We were in the living room in Farmville at my grandparents. It was Uncle Timmy, Uncle Sterling, Tim, us watching this game. Prince does melts the house. The roof came down, and we weren't even there. I remember 2009 Steelers versus Arizona. That was the Kurt Warner game. Ben Roethlisberger, Mike Tomlin winning the Super Bowl together. First time ever. That's the first year of Downright Sports, in all honesty, because that's when we did the original show, and I actually wrote a column about this game. Yeah, I used to do that. I remember the 2017 New England Atlanta game, and I remember going, well, this game ain't over. I went on Facebook and said, this game ain't over. And people went, what? I said, this game ain't over. And moments later, Tom Brady would prove me right. Now, there's only one game that matters in the last 20 years. It really does. Let me paint the picture for you. It's 2008. 2007, rather. It's 2007. And New England is beating everyone. They will not lose. They have Randy Moss, Tom Brady. They got their super plows. They are flexing on the game, flexing on the league, unbeknownst. The last game of the season is against the New York Giants. Giants make the playoffs. Nobody has hope. And the Giants go on the road and they slay legends. Do you hear me? They slay legends. They beat Favre. They beat the 49ers. Then they get to the Super Bowl and they have to beat New England. And I'm going to paint the picture for you. We were living in Kingston, Pennsylvania. My DJ Chase was coming to visit, and he took the bus. And me and my dad and my mom, we are enthralled in this game, and it's close, and it's a fight, and it's a scrap. And I never forget, Chase called and said, "Yo, I just left the bus," and we were probably about 5-10 minutes from the bus stop. And I raced to pick him up. I'm listening to the game, and as I pull back into the house, it's time for Eli to do his work, and Eli roams around, runs around in the backfield. They get ready to sack him. If they sack him, this game is over. And he just throws that thing in the air, and he catches the ball. It hits his helmet. It's the helmet catch, and I go, "Oh my God!" My dad lets out Kirk. We couldn't believe it. Yeah, I get goosebumps thinking about it. And the Giants won, beating the undefeated Patriots. This was the first time that Tom Brady and Bill Belichick were beaten in the Super Bowl by the Giants. Michael Strahan got a ring and retired. How about that? How about it? All right, let's wrap this up, shall we? We're going to keep Super Bowl 60. A lot of moments, a lot of great players. So here are my top performers of the Super Bowl. All right, starting with Lynn Swann and the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Dallas Cowboys, 1976 Super Bowl 10. How about that? Swann, 161 yards receiving, and go Google it. It's the catch where he goes and catches it with his fingertips to make the catch. Terrell Davis, 1998 Super Bowl 32, 157 yards rushing with 3 touchdowns. Tell him to stop. He's still running. Timmy Smith, 1988 Super Bowl 22 to Washington, now Commanders, then Redskins. 204 yards with 2 touchdowns. The Commanders, then Redskins would win another Super Bowl. How about this? 1995. Steve Young, Super Bowl 29. Can I give you 6 touchdowns? Ooh-wee. Number 5, Jerry. You can't have the Super Bowl without Jerry Rice. 1989, Jerry Rice, Super Bowl 23. 215 yards receiving. Yeah, it's the reason why they used to call him the GOAT. Number 6, Rod Martin, 1981. The year is 1981. Super Bowl 15. The then Los Angeles Raiders. He has a record. 3 interceptions in the Super Bowl. Still has not been touched nor been duplicated. And then finally, 2017, the comeback. Super Bowl 50. Tom Brady. Is that right? Super Bowl 50? That ain't right. That number is not right. Super Bowl 51? Sure, Super Bowl 51. What Super Bowl was this? Hold on, that math ain't mathing. Sure is not, because it's 2018, right? Duh. Apologies. Super Bowl 51. I was still right. Super Bowl 51. Brady, the comeback game, 466 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an overtime win. Still has not been duplicated yet. I'll grab that. Challenge my list, and then tell me what you think. And then ask me what I think, and I'm going to tell you I don't care. All right. We'll be back. If you're watching on YouTube and Facebook, hey, relax. Give me a minute, like an actual minute. We're going to come back, and we're going to talk NBA, because I have breaking news. Actual breaking news. Doesn't mean that trying to be funny. We have breaking news. Spoiler. James Harden has been traded. How about that? We'll be back with more Downright Sports, everybody.